Hello friends, Thor Diecow talking at you. It's this week on Blu-ray and DVD. We've got 5 titles to tell you about. We begin with one of 2014's finest films, David Fincher's Gone Girl, based on the best-selling book by Gillian Flynn, starring Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike. Get a look.
Why did you break up?
That's a strange question.
Did you treat her bad? Did you cheat on her?
That's a rude question.
Let me tell you what Amy told me. She dumped you. You completely unraveled. You stalked her, you threatened her, and you attempted suicide in her bed and were institutionalized.
Your wife is missing, and you came all this way to tell me this?
Well, I thought there might be another side to this story.
There you go. Great little scene between Ben Affleck and Neil Patrick Harris. An ensemble cast of impeccable talents in this one, including a scene-stealing Tyler Perry as their lawyer. This has got pure Fincher all over it. The production design, the cinematography, the music from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross just added to that atmospheric, eerie mood. One of the best thrillers in modern times, and a really satirical look at media, not only on the social front, but on television and how we sort of sensationalize stories, and a look at domestic relations when it comes to a struggling marriage. On the occasion of his 5th wedding anniversary, Nick Dunn discovers that his beautiful wife has gone missing, and under pressure from the police and growing media frenzy, he actually becomes one of the prime suspects. It's a twisting and turning thriller, and it will have you talking about it for days to come with your significant other. The Blu-ray comes with an exclusive Amazing Amy story, Tattletale, a 36-page children's book, obviously sort of playing off the fact of Rosamund Pike's character being a children's author, and you also get commentary from director David Fincher himself. Don't miss this one. It was actually my 3rd favorite film of 2014, Gone Girl, a truly fine little thriller with just the right amount of drama, sex, and romance, and of course some comedy sprinkled in there. All right, we're switching gears now, and we're talking about Men, Women, and Children from director Jason Reitman. He gave us Up in the Air and Juno. This is a very interesting look at technology and how it's interwoven in our lives, and how the ability to connect everyone together actually draws us further apart. Have a look.
I mean, they're just my friends from the game. Like, I've never actually met them in RL.
RL?
RL, in real life.
Do you have friends in RL?
No. I used to have a lot, but once I stopped playing football, I sort of lost most of them. There's a girl, though.
Is she in RL?
Yeah.
This is actually a really interesting character study and look at 5 different interconnected families and how technology and social media sort of plays a role, for good or worse, in their lives. It's got a very interesting role from Adam Sandler, who does a bit of a dramatic turn in this one. Jennifer Garner plays an overprotective helicopter mom who's monitoring her daughter's movements on the web. Very interesting story, and it will spark a lively discussion about what it is to raise kids in this digital age, and we'll definitely have you talking about the pratfalls and the dangers of social media, being connected, and all the things that kids can have access to on the internet. So for me, being a new parent, this really hit home, looking ahead to when my daughter's a teen and things like that. So some very topical issues here, and it's all handled very sensitively thanks to a great director in Jason Reitman. So pick up that one, some very thought-provoking subject matter in Men, Women, and Children. Now, a lovely little film that we're going to talk about starring John Lithgow and Alfred Molina. Love is Strange, and this is a beautiful little film fest gem about 2 men who have been together for decades and decide to get married. But when Alfred Molina loses his job, they're struggling with real estate prices and trying to make their way. So they have to actually spend some time apart. And that really allows them to question their place in life and their relationship as they spend a lot of time apart after being together for so long. Take a look at Love is Strange.
You know, it takes a lot of kissing to make a romance sweet. And it takes a lot of loving to make my life complete. And it takes a lot of husband, that's me he's talking about, to knock me off my feet. And baby, you got what it takes. Your part, Ted.
Yeah, this is such a great film from celebrated indie filmmaker Ira Sachs, and it's a multi-generational story about love, marriage, and it depicts the delicate nature of 2 people trying to build a long life together. And it also looks at the responsibility that the other people take on that are basically, housing the 2 of them once they get separated. So the pressures that are faced by everyone here, and it's got a very nice sort of look at modern love and relationships, and also the mounting rising pressure with the economy in the States and how that can have a drastic effect on people struggling from all walks of life. It's really well edited, has a very nice pace to it, and grounded beautifully by excellent performances from these two veterans in Lithgow and Molina. And the guys actually have a surprising amount of chemistry together. It's quite a beautiful, poignant, and touching movie. So Love is Strange, if you haven't heard about it, make sure you check that one out. A lovely little yarn. Okay, we're going to be talking about a little thriller this time with Benicio del Toro and PETA himself, Josh Hutcherson. It's Escobar, Paradise Lost, and this will actually be available on demand this coming Friday, January 26th, based very loosely on the real guy, Pablo Escobar, the notorious drug kingpin, but nothing is more important to him than family. So when a young surfer, played by Josh Hutcherson, falls for his niece, he finds his life on the line when he's pulled into this dangerous world of the family business. It's got some typical scenery chewing from Benicio del Toro, who has such magnetism, and you're just drawn into the power and the madness of the character. What I didn't like so much about the film is that it focused a lot on Hutcherson's character, and I didn't really care too much about him. He was just kind of this surfer dude who comes into the life of Escobar. Where it really shines is Benicio's parts and the interaction with them, but things get really crazy in this one and escalate heavily. So Escobar, Paradise Lost, that will be available across the country, video on demand this Friday. And finally, guys, it's the end of an era for an HBO show. Boardwalk Empire has released the 5th and final season of the hit show led by Steve Buscemi. And this one jumps forward 6 full years to 1931 in stark contrast with the 1920s. The country is now in the throes of the Great Depression. The end of Prohibition is in sight, and Nucky Thompson is trying to legitimize himself by forging alliances with liquor producers. You've got audio commentary and 8 scouting the boardwalk location pieces that take fans behind the scenes of the final season. I've watched Boardwalk from the beginning, and I followed it all the way through. Loved every single season. I was sad that it had to end at 5, but they do a very interesting thing here by jumping ahead and looking at a different era in the American history. And they also do some flashbacks in this season, which I really appreciated, giving you a little more depth and insight into who these characters are and what they become. One of the finest productions ever put out on the small screen, and I have to hand it to HBO. They created something masterful in this one with just an incredible cast, great writing, and impeccable production design. It looks like you are stepping right back in time into the 20s and 30s when you watch. So collect them all, but you can get the 5th and final season of Boardwalk Empire now. There you go. That's it for this week on Blu-ray and DVD. I'm Thor Dykow. You can catch me on Twitter. We'll see you next week on breakfasttelevision.ca.